Okay, thinking about words that describe Tucker Max's writing was difficult at first, but after looking over the word list we made in class, I found it easier to help explain what I saw in his writing. I'd like to read an excerpt from the first book, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. The people at my table begin talking about energy healing. Everyone is mesmerized by a girl who took a class on it. I tell them that energy healing is a worthless and solipsistic pseudoscience. I tell them that energy healing is They think energy healing is a real science because the instructor of the girls' class went to Harvard. One guy calls it a legitimate, certifiable science while making air quotes with his fingers. I tell them they're all legitimate, certifiable idiots because they believe in horseshit like energy healing. Two girls call me closed-minded. I tell them that they are so open-minded that their brains leaked out. They all glare at me with disapproval. I hate everyone at my table. The first word that grabbed my attention to describe Tucker Max was colloquial. He writes in an informal, conversational type style that sounds like he is speaking directly to you. And he also uses words that may sound vulgar and may be disapproved by most. I also think that indefatigable is another great word that helps understand how Max writes. He not only sounds like he is incapable of being tired, but he writes about the parties and the clubs that he goes to, the nights that he is out until 3 or 4 in the morning, and almost makes the reader feel the exhaustion that he doesn't seem to ever have. Now, in the excerpt above, when Max was talking about energy healing, although most would not have gotten fired up about the topic, he did. Max has to write in a way that gets an immediate reaction from his readers. He also calls people idiots because of their opinions, and seems to always get in some type of argument with whoever he is talking about in his stories. Not only does he sometimes offend the people that he is talking about, but he also irritates the reader sometimes. I think that the word to better describe Max doing here is agonistic. He's agonistic because he is argumentative and looking for an immediate reaction. He wants to make the reader question whether they believe what he was talking about and also spark interest in what he's going to say next. To better understand what Max does not sound like would be to use the word artificial. Max is a writer that's honest and upfront, and he's telling the truth and doesn't care if he offends the reader or anyone else really for that matter. And vulgarity doesn't really bother him ever. Although there were many other words that I could use to describe Tucker Max in his unique fratire genre, I think that some of the words we went over in class did a good job in helping me understand a little more about Tucker Max and what he sounds like. Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay.
Sir?